Hey guys, it's Paul with FHF Gear. I want to go over how to set up your F.O.B bino harness when you get it. It's going to come with the airframe harness as well as the pouch, the wind call pouch, and the foam inserts inside. First thing I want to do is show you how to adjust the harness. The idea of this is going to be that this Y in the back is going to be high between your shoulder blades. You don't want it riding up on your neck. You want a comfortable curve around your shoulders. And ideally, these tabs up here on the back of the airframe are actually going to ride just over the top seam of your shirt and be just barely onto your back. You don't want it down real low, and again, you don't want those showing up high. Once you've got that set where you want it, you're going to spin this around and adjust where you want that pouch to sit on your chest. So if you want it high and tight, that's where I usually wear mine. You're going to leave these auto lock buckles up high. If you're going to want it to ride lower, you're going to want to extend these. On the pouch itself, or on the buckles, you're going to see an elastic keeper. That's there to, one, quiet the buckles, and two, route that webbing. So this webbing is routed down through that elastic. What I usually do is pull that down onto the female buckle, and then I can unbuckle and pull that webbing out. In order to lengthen it, you're going to see that that webbing is actually routed through the laser cut slits in the harness in order to keep it concealed and out of the way. In order to extend it, you're going to pull that webbing up back into the harness and then use that auto lock buckle to extend. And you can do that all the way down, or again, pull it all the way up if you want it higher and tighter. Again, you're keeping the harness where you want it and moving the pouch up and down. Once you get that set where you want it, you're gonna then reattach your male to female buckle, slide that elastic back up over, and then reroute the webbing down through there to keep it out of the way. On the side harness, there's also an elastic keeper. This is meant for once you have this tightened where you want it, you have the ability to slide any of your tag ends up out of the way and keep them from flopping in the wind. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's always something you get rid of if you decide you don't want that on there. But they're there for you to help contain all that webbing. Once your harness is adjusted, and I'm actually going to just disconnect this so I can show you more clearly. You're going to deal with the pouch. Before I jump to that though, I am going to show you these Bino hangers that are attached to the harness. So these, if you want to use the hangers, they have small metal hooks up here that slide into these sewn in loops. So if you don't want them, or you only want one, just remove that hook and get rid of it. Slide it back in there if you want to keep it. These are removable, so you can detach them, and that's actually how you're going to attach them to your binoculars. So to attach those Bino hangers to your binoculars, you're going to detach that lower portion, slide that down through there, and I don't keep any of the rings or anything that might have come with your binoculars. I use the actual little studs on the binos. So you're going to run that through so that the bar tack, you're not going to have to pull that bar tack all the way through that stud. You just want enough room here to get your buckle back through and pull that back tight. Pulling your bar tack up in, you're going to slide that in. You can do that on both sides, and then you'll be able to reattach to the Bino hangers when you reattach your pouch. On the pouch itself, you're going to open that up. You're going to have the wind call pouch as well as the foam shims inside of there. To attach the wind call, you can pick either side, so right or left doesn't matter. This is going to be big enough, again, to fit your wind check or your diaphragm calls. You're just going to MOLLE that on to whatever side you want to attach. I'll go over that real quickly here and just attach that by weaving in and out of the slits on the back and pairing those up to the slits on the side. So I'm actually going to put it on the right side. That's where I would normally carry mine. when you get to the last one, you're actually going to fold that back up into the lower slit in that MOLLE. So this will fold up in, lay in there tight, and then that tag end I tuck up in underneath that last row of MOLLE. That keeps it nice and tight to the side, and that's definitely not going to move on you. Lastly, to set the pouch up for your binos, there's basically 2 steps. So depending on the height of your binos, obviously difference here between these two, you're going to want to select the shims that make them even with the top of the pouch, or at least close to even with the top of the pouch. In this case, I probably wouldn't even use any, but you could probably get away with 1. In this case, I'm going to put all 4. If your binos are in between, you may just pick 2 or 3. In order to do that, this piece of 1 wrap opens up. You can pick however many you want. Use whatever storage you might want in there, and then rewrap that tight to keep those together. That's just going to slip right in the bottom of the pouch and prop up the binos that you're planning to use. So they're going to sit near the top. The second step of this is depending on the bridge of your binos. So set your distance between your tubes, look through them, make sure they're where you want them. And then on the front of the pouch, you want to make sure that the metal band inside of there is molded however you want it. If you want a little extra room, give it a little extra bend. If you don't want it to stick out that far, you can straighten that back out. But again, that's set up so you can customize it to fit whatever optics you've got in there. Now that we have the basics of the setup done, I'm going to go into some of the accessories really quick. So I'll get these out of the way and show you how I might attach a rangefinder. One way to do that would be to attach directly to the side. Again, this very similar to the MOLLE on the wind call pouch. This is just going to weave through, matching up the slits on the back of the rangefinder to the slits on the side itself. You'll end up with an attachment system after going through that's going to look just like that. You can use the existing buckles. You don't have to change anything else on the harness. That's going to attach right there. Obviously, you can do that reversed, put your wind call pouch on the other side, rangefinder on this side. So use what works for you, set it up how you want it to be set up. Personally, I like to set them up on one wing. So I will show you that first. To attach the wing, that's going to slip into those webbing loops. We have a whole nother video on how to do that, but I'm going to attach this wing to the right side just so you can see it. I'm going to remove the buckle that is on that side. This field repair buckle just slides right out. And now I'm just using the one buckle here. That gives me the 2 attachment points on the side of the wing and the single attachment point out here for my harness. To attach my rangefinder there, you could pick either column of MOLLE. I like the innermost one, more inboard, to keep that rangefinder tight. And again, I'm going to weave that through, matching up the slits with the slits here. So I'll show you that real quick. When you get to the bottom of this one, there is one extra loop, and this slips right through it, which locks in that last piece of MOLLE right there. And you can tuck that webbing loop in between the laminate and the foam so that nothing touches your body. So you're going to have your wing set up just like that. You're going to reattach the harness if you don't have it attached already. And you'll have this nice high and tight setup for everything here. The same thing can be done for any of our other accessory pouches. E3, you're going to use both columns of MOLLE. Nav pouch, Rhino, you might set it up the same way. You can do one wing, as I have here, or you could do two and have that other accessory pouch on the side. Really, it's up to you. Customize it to what works for you. And if you have any questions on how to do this, please email in, call in. We'll make sure we get your questions answered. Thanks for watching.